not that song.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1426-1426. It's Mike's Daily Podcast, broadcasting from Cafe Anyway here at the last place on earth, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. And today we have Madame Rootabega, Valentino, Bison Bentley stopping by, and we have Marko here.
Hey!
Yeah, no kidding.
It's Marko.
What's going on, my
Daily Podcast. That's the song. I'm going to have to sing a song right now.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
The reason why Marko's here, you'll find out in just a little bit. And you will go, wow, Mike, oh, that's awesome that he's there today. It will make the show really interesting.
Busted eardrums.
Okay. That was my song today, Marko.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Nice.
Usually here I talk about things that happened yesterday in my life and I complain.
Mike's
But today,
Daily
because you're here,
Podcast.
I'm going to behave.
Behave yourself.
Yeah.
So,
You don't have to behave yourself around me, but, you know.
oh, that's all right. But some people are going to walk in and the door is going to open up.
Ah, gotcha.
But hey, it's Cafe Anyway. Can I get you something to drink?
Yeah, get me a mochaccino, espresso, double, triple latte, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, here. There it is.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
I made that really fast.
Yeah, give me a beer. There's nothing like having a beer early in the morning.
It's what's for breakfast.
Exactly.
Look who walked in. Hello, Michael Messi. It's Madame Rootabega. Und hello, Marko.
Well, hello for the final time, possibly, Madame.
Oh, no. Oh. And look who else walked in. Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant. And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that? Why is it your last time? That's scary. Marko.
Yeah, it could possibly be my final Marko minute here on Mike's Daily Podcast because I'm going to be going to a different time slot here.
You're not dying, are you?
No, I'm not dying. I'm just not going to be, bright and bushy-eyed at 5 o'clock in the morning anymore. I'm going to be sleeping now at this time, starting next weekend. It's going to be beautiful. Thank you.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Oh, I haven't come up with a podcast picture yet. Oh, shoot. So, what's happening? You're moving to a different time schedule?
Yeah, I'm moving to a different time schedule. So, by the time I get here, there's going to be millions of people that have already listened to your podcast. So I just won't have time anymore to come on and do a Marko minute. And this could really very well be the last one. Now I can't confirm or deny that there might be another one next Thursday, but as of right now, this could be the final one.
The last one on a Friday, anyway.
Yeah, exactly. This is my last Friday here at this lovely time slot at Cafe Anyway.
Cafe Anyway. Wow, Marko, this is awesome. I am honored to have you here, and I'm getting a podcast picture while you were talking. Let's see. Name a place. Let's see if I've been there.
Let's see. Mount St. Helen.
No.
Okay.
I've been to Washington, though.
Have you? I've never been to any Washington, whether it's a state or D.C.
Do I have any pictures from Washington? No.
No?
I mean, not here. I got them on my... so difficult being somewhere else where everything else is elsewhere.
Have you been to El Cajon?
El Cajon?
Yeah. It's one of the armpits of San Diego.
Oh, no.
It's like once you get past La Mesa, the further east you go, then you get into the whole armpits of El Cajon, Santee, where it's just white trash and meth and everywhere. It's great. I miss that part of San Diego.
The Marko Minute.
Nice.
The Marko Minute.
So here... Yeah, that's the longest intro ever, huh? Do you like that?
I like that. So yeah, another reason why I wanted to come on here because I like to shamelessly plug my shows, and because I'm actually gonna be moving my metal show too.
What?
Well, because I won't be able to do it in my new schedule.
Say what?
So,
that's right.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to be moving it to weekends now. Saturdays from 11 to 1 specific time. So
specific time.
Yeah, specific time.
Instead of Pacific.
Right. So, yeah, and that's going to be nice because then I'll be able to, wake people up and, crank metal for them on the weekends to get the weekend going. And, they might be hungover from Friday night, debauchery. And, yeah, it'll be a good time to check it out. So, MetalDevastationRadio.com is that one. And then I also got my sports show. Sports on Daisy, that's DESI.
DESI.
Yeah, which is going to be on 1170 AM KLOK. You can go to KLOK1170am.com and click on Listen Live there. You can also download the app. We have that. So that'll be Sunday nights, 8 p.m. You're going to get all the exclusive sports coverage, especially for football starting in a couple weeks. So we're going to be doing a lot of Raiders coverage, 49ers. We're going to be wrapping up the baseball season, getting ready to start of hockey and basketball, Warriors and Sharks, because, the Warriors are going to be defending their title this year. So we're going to be a lot of exciting things are going to be happening in the fall for me. It's going to be great. So, and I thank you for letting me do my shameless plugs, because I'm just very shameless.
That's a Garth Brooks song.
Is it?
Actually, that was written by Billy Joel.
Really?
On the Stormfront album that had We Didn't Start the Fire.
So he gave that, so that was like a kind of a reject song for Billy Joel, and he gave it to Garth Brooks to make it a country song?
Well, I used to play on the cool thing when I did country radio was I was like the guy that would play. I'd get the audio from the country artist,
right,
and I would go, here's what Garth Brooks had to say about that song. And then I would play it, and Garth, I remember distinctly in one of the sound bites he did, he went, Billy Joel released that song as a single, and it tanked. So I picked it up and decided it was like a bomb for Billy Joel, and then Garth Brooks took it and made it a big hit song on the country charts, not on the metal charts.
It's Bison Bentley's Do You Know Dat?
Oh, another segment.
Hey, this is Bison Bentley, and Mike Matthews has a couple of stories that'll make you want to ask yourself, do you know that? Do you know that? Do you know that? Do you know that? Do you know that?
Bison Bentley, is the guy you met earlier.
Right.
And so this is a Do You Know Dat segment. So I guess that kind of fit that with me telling you that completely unimportant country music history.
Right. Because you know how I just love country music so much.
I love the fact you're doing your Metal Devastation at a time that I'll probably be listening.
Yeah, see, now you'll be able to listen now. I'm doing this really specifically for you, so you can listen now. That's why I moved my show.
Woohoo! I can listen to Dream Theater.
Yes, I'll be playing Dream Theater now every week just because you're going to be listening. So
Iron Maiden.
Yeah, Mandatory Maiden. Definitely got to have that. It's 2 to 3 songs of Iron Maiden because they're the greatest heavy metal band of all time, in my opinion. But, so.
Judas of the Priest.
Which I like to rank them number 2 as the greatest metal band of all time. So and then rounding out that is Black Sabbath. And that's all Black Sabbath, including the Dio era. And including the Tony Martin era, which a lot of people forget about that.
Oh, wow.
And then I just want to clarify one thing for everyone, and that Black Sabbath is, and always will be Tony Iommi. It's not Ozzy, okay? So
yeah, because he's the guy, but is he still alive?
He's still alive. Yeah.
Wow.
They're all still alive, actually.
But didn't he have some health issues?
He had, he had a cancer thing going, but he beat it. He's cancer-free.
Awesome.
And so congratulations to Tony for beating cancer and just continuing to kick ass and rock out, man. I mean, he's a legend. He's a rock god. He's a metal god. He's got to stay alive, So, but yeah. So let's see. I think Queensryche's number 4, and I guess you could throw Metallica up there at number 5, I guess. But I don't know. That kind of rounds out my top 5. But and every now and then I'll play a Metallica song, but it's an old school song. When they were good.
It's an old school song.
Yeah. So I was doing a little old school section right before I get to Mandatory Maiden. It's a nice little segue into it, So.
It sounds like a great show. I can't wait to listen to it on set. When does it start on Saturday?
It's going to start September 9th.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's when it'll premiere.
So I saw Sylvia yesterday. Occasionally, I have to go into audience research mode and find out, what my podcasting audience, do some demographic
Analytics.
And I saw Sylvia yesterday, and she listens to the show, and her husband is in a band called Mofu and Mordred. And Mordred's actually playing at the Brick and Mortar next month. And have you heard of any of these bands?
Nah.
Okay. Well, she is a rocker.
Okay.
And loves metal. And one of her favorite bands is a band called Ghost. Are you familiar with that one?
I know Ghost. Yeah. In fact, they opened up for Iron Maiden this past tour back in July when they played at the Oracle Arena in Oakland.
Ooh.
And I gotta admit, I was impressed by Ghost. I heard some of the music, but I never became like a big fan. But I gotta admit, live, they are a great band to watch. They really are. They put on a really good show.
So you were at that show?
Yes.
I think she was too.
We probably ran into each other at the beer line and never knew it. So Sylvia, next Ghost show, I'll buy you a beer.
Wasn't that a Bob Dylan song?
But I'll buy you a beer?
Sylvia,
all Bob Dylan songs sound the same to me.
So then, so my point being,
Sylvia, right?
Sylvia, yeah. So she likes metal.
Oh, cool.
And she helped. Oh, when I talk to her, I realize some of the things that I say on my podcast. I go, oh, maybe that isn't exactly true. So she helps me, come up with my error list.
Well, thank you, Sylvia, for helping Mike out with his podcast and making sure he doesn't sound like a schmuck every day.
And I do realize in the cartoon that I posted yesterday,
right,
I said that because Valentino was in it, who you also met earlier,
right,
and he said to me he didn't know what to do with his eclipse glasses. And I said, send them to the countries that are going to have the next eclipse, which is going to be in 2019. But in the cartoon I wrote 2009. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought I was in the last decade, but 2009 was a great year.
Was it?
For me. I don't know about you, but I think I did a lot of traveling that year, so I kind of liked it.
Let's see. 2009, actually, there's 3 months where it was really crappy, so I didn't care for 2009 so much. There was a summer, actually, 2009, which probably was one of my worst summers.
Was the summer of 2009.
Yeah.
That was your favorite Bryan Adams song, I just...
Actually, that is probably my favorite Bryan Adams song.
I got my first six string. Dun, 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 over dun, dun. The 5 and dime.
Yeah, I like that song.
So, that not a good year.
That was not... Well, I mean, it got better toward the end, and the beginning was good. It's just take away those 3 months in the summer, and it actually was a decent year. But I'm the type that if there's something bad happened, that just ruins my whole year. So
yeah,
like 2002 was a horrible year because that's the same year the Giants lost the World Series and the Raiders lost the Super Bowl. So I just consider that a really bad year. I mean, I may have gotten laid hundreds of times that year, but the fact that my sports teams took a dump in the championships, that just ruined it for me.
I almost lost my dog this year. He almost died. So this is, even though he's doing great right now, I feel like this was a bad year. But I guess it was a good year because he got better.
Right. So. I guess it's all how you balance it out.
Yeah. But I'm going to start giving him more glucosamine and fish oil, like you told me.
Yes, that's really good for their joints. And, when you take them for the walks, they'll be a lot more enjoyable for him. So
and
keep that up.
He wanted to say something. That's Basil.
Right on.
Basil
well, I feel the exact same way about Mike, too, Basil. What a jerk, huh?
I had I usually put news in my show, so here's a quick little news story that there was a North Korean spies are photographed. Oh, they caught these North Korean spies trying to steal top secret missile designs, and I guess this was on CNN. Ukrainian security services gave CNN surveillance footage and details of an elaborate sting operation they carried out to snag 2 North Korean spies. Oh, this happened in 2011.
Just reporting on it now?
Yeah, why does
6 years later?
Why is CNN? Oh, I guess the Ukraine just gave them this footage. Which is odd. That's an odd story.
Why does the Ukraine have that footage?
Because they were trying to steal it from Ukraine.
Oh, is that where they were stealing it from? Wait, Ukraine's known for making missiles?
Oh, it says the revelations are aimed at dispelling claims that a recently forward in Pyongyang's intercontinental missile technology may have been achieved by using designs stolen from the Ukraine.
Oh, I did not know they were that technologically advanced there. I mean, I know they have hot women in that country, but I didn't know they designed missiles. Well, good for Ukraine. You know what? In fact, if that's the case, why didn't they use those against Russia when Russia invaded them last year?
Yeah.
Wasn't that last year they did that?
2
years ago, right? Okay, yeah. But where was their missiles then? They could have put one up Putin's ass.
And then the other story I had was Apple's new phone is going to be around $999. Why don't they just say $1,000? It's going to be $1,000
for a phone.
Apple's redesigned iPhone. Yeah, it's bezel free. What does that mean?
I have no
bezel.
Like embezzle? I don't know. In other words, you can't hack into it and steal someone's personal information and accountants. I don't know. Bezel? What the hell is bezel free?
Bezel free?
Is that just some stupid term they made up so that way they can justify their charging people $1,000 for a phone, their worthless phone?
Here's what the word bezel is supposed to be pronounced like.
Bezel.
Okay. A grooved ring holding the glass or cover. It doesn't even know.
So basically it's got something to do with the cover of the phone. The glass cover of the phone. Oh, whatever.
So it's going to be $1,000, about $350 more than a standard iPhone does. And someone who will remain nameless that I produce a show for has a, something that is... It rhymes with Mardmon for Apple. Anything that comes out that's Apple. He will not shut up about how great Apple is. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, go ahead and pay these crazy prices for your stupid phone that gives you only this much memory and you can never expand the memory. Like on Samsungs, you can put a new memory thing in there.
So where's your sheep soundbite? We need that in there. For anytime there we go. Those are all the Apple people are. The evil empire that is known.
Did you say evil empire?
Yes.
Oh, I have that. Here it is.
Exactly. That I think you hear that when you cross 280 in Wolf Road. Here in Cupertino.
Evil empire.
Yeah, they got their spaceship, you know?
Yeah.
That's the Death Star. That's the Bay Area's Death Star.
I made that sound effect. Oh, and we forgot the best character of Star Wars.
Nah, that's the sound I make whenever someone says, "Oh, I got the new iPhone," or "I got the new Apple this or that."
Gosh. So I did get an iPhone. Actually, I was married at the time. My wife wanted one. So that's the only reason why I have an iPhone. I still have it. I use it as like an iPod. No. Oh, women.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I used to have, but when I got my Samsung, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is wonderful. And my ex-wife actually texted me and said, how do you like your new Samsung? And I go, it kicks Apple's butt, because I like the fact that it gives me there's so many ways I can do the same thing, whereas Apple, you can only do it this way.
Right.
And people like that with the Apple because they don't want to have to think, and they want it completely
cheap.
Yeah. And
you just said it perfectly. They don't have to think.
And somebody that I work with at the other job, whose name rhymes with Obfusca, he is a total Mac app nut. And okay, yeah, they've made a lot of great things, and the Samsung probably stole most of their ideas, but I like the way this. Anyway, cafe. Anyway, any final thoughts you'd like to say?
Anyway.
Well, it's been a pleasure every time I've been on here, Mike, and I want to thank you for having this podcast, for letting me sometimes come on here and give my shameless plugs and my occasional rant and rave that I sometimes do. So,
well, what I'll do is I can have you on the show when I see you later in the day. I can record you on my Samsung phone.
Oh, there you go. All right, yeah. So this way, I don't just completely fade away into the good night or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, wow, you're getting poetic there.
Yeah. Sometimes. When the caffeine kicks in.
Yeah, what is that expression? Into the good night, something like that.
Yeah.
I've heard that hoity-toity people say.
Like a Robert Frost poem or something.
Yeah, so you won't be doing that going into that good night. You'll be on the show again.
All right.
And I have a bunch of other horn sounds now.
You've got to be kidding me.
Well, thank you for being on the show. So you'll be back again sometime. But hey, Metal Devastation Radio, you can hear Marko on that starting. Well, you'll hear it Monday at 6.
Right. This will be the final Monday show. Will be happening this Monday. Was that the 28th?
It is.
So the 28th will be the final show, 6 to 8, and then starting Saturday, September 9th, that'll be the first show, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Maybe 2. We'll see. It depends on how I'm feeling that day. I might go an extra hour.
And that's
MetalDevastationRadio.com. And you click on the listen live. It's right there. You can't miss it. And then don't forget, if you're a big sports nut like me, you'll love my sports show. Sports on Daisy, Sunday nights, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
On KLOK
1170 a.m. Daisy Radio, baby.
Is that KLOK.com?
That's KLOK1170am.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And just Google it. You'll find it. It'll be in the first page.
Excellent. Well, I guess as we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Vermont. It's been great having you here. Any plans this weekend?
Yeah, I have to work the freaking Palo Alto Art and Wine Fest.
By the way, thank you so much for not cussing on my show today.
I know. And I wanted to, give a proper send off. So that's why I refrain from any F words, S words, C words,
which is a very good thing. Which is a very, very good thing.
Thank you.
And you enjoyed your beer?
I did enjoy my beer. I always enjoy beer, no matter what time of the day. That's never too early for a beer.
That's true.
Never too early. So, thank you, Mike.
All right.
You the man.
All right. Next show, we'll have Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the Engineer. Talk to you on Sunday, maybe, here. Have a good weekend.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!
And since we discussed Nashville a little bit with Garth Brooks, and I guess that's all we said about Nashville, I've included a picture in the podcast picture of the Cumberland River and downtown Nashville when I was there. I think it was in 2009. It all comes back around. You can see it there at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com.